Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism and author of the Tao Te Ching, wrote, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." You're likely to have heard that quote from his Book of the Way, written around 525 BC, which means his words have remained relevant for over 2,500 years. Many of Lao Tzu's quotes seem very straightforward, but simplicity is not the reason his quotes have been passed from generation to generation for over 2 millennia. Above all, Lao Tzu's quotes are useful. A perfect example of this is a quote in which he said, "New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings." His words help us understand that a painful experience, often perceived as a setback, may actually be the catalyst for a beneficial new chapter in our lives. It's a reminder that even our most painful experiences have the potential to trigger rejuvenation and personal growth, and we would all benefit from keeping that in mind during hard times. Lao Tzu gave simple instructions on how to initiate positive changes as well. He said, "Kind words elicit trust. Kind thoughts create deepness. Kind deeds bring love." In today's fast-paced and interconnected world, Lao Tzu's words remain relevant and beneficial. The essence of his teaching is in the simplicity of kindness, a virtue that extends beyond material pursuits. Trust, deepness, and love, as he suggests, can be cultivated within our character. Nothing external is needed to be good to others, it's just a matter of making a conscious effort to be kind. Many of the quotes of Lao Tzu and Confucius warn us against external influences, to be careful not to get caught in a race with others to see who can accumulate the most material wealth. The key is to shift our focus away from our possessions and away from the influence of others, and instead channel our focus inward into our thoughts and actions. Lao Tzu is quoted as saying, "If you desire to live a happier life, start by making a few small changes." He said you don't need the approval or recognition of others, just start small, even by doing something that may seem insignificant. For all of us, that could simply be an email to someone we know, a compliment to a friend, or an act of generosity to a charity that we have been considering. Any small act of kindness will do. The words of Confucius have proven to be as useful and as instructional as those of Lao Tzu as well. Confucius said, "The nobler sort of man emphasizes the good qualities in others, and does not accentuate the bad in those we encounter." His message lies in the choices we make, specifically in our willingness to recognize the inherent goodness in those around us. In a world that often emphasizes competition and comparison, his teachings direct us to look for the positive attributes of people we encounter, not to search for their faults. This is particularly relevant for us today while on the internet, where criticism can easily be amplified. Confucius's words encourage us to be generous with our praise and very discerning in our judgment of others. To rise above an inclination to highlight the flaws we see in others. His advice is especially relevant regarding social media, where judgments and criticisms often seem to run amok. In the wisdom of Confucius, we find another timeless truth in which he said, "Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it." In today's world, where constant internet messaging often dictates standards of success and beauty, Confucius's insight serves as a reminder that we are surrounded by inherent beauty in the world around us. His words challenge us to disregard the judgments and expectations that social media puts on us, and look inward instead. We should consider the richness of our experiences and the deepness of relationships as a source of beauty as well. That's a perspective that few of us tap into, and we should. To take it a step further, applying Confucius's teaching to our daily lives involves a mindset that goes well beyond the surface, much further than what most of us have developed. It encourages us to recognize the underlying beauty in what we often consider to be mundane components of our lives, such as a cup of coffee, a meal, or even cleaning an area around us. His words urge us to refine our perceptions, to foster a deeper appreciation for simple daily actions and experiences. This is one of Confucius's most enduring lessons, leading us to a rewarding sense of acknowledgement and gratitude. Lao Tzu provided timeless wisdom regarding generosity, with his quote, "The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own." In an era often dominated by the pursuit of personal wealth and accumulation, Lao Tzu's teaching offers us a chance to take a closer look at what we currently value, and why we may be choosing to value our possessions more than we should. The essence of true abundance, as he suggests, cannot be found in hoarding possessions, but instead will result from the generous act of giving. To apply Lao Tzu's insight to our daily lives involves a conscious effort to cut back on our self-interest and self-absorption. By accepting and applying the concept of having more for ourselves as a result of giving, we will experience a richness that overshadows the value we have put on our possessions. Lao Tzu's lesson holds a fundamental key to living a happier life, that the more we contribute to the well-being of others, the greater our sense of fulfillment becomes. Helping others turns into an end in itself, and can be instantly, mutually beneficial. Lao Tzu's insight into our relationships with others is also reflected in his quote, "Those who understand others are clever. Those who understand themselves are wise." While cleverness may be seen in our ability to deal with society, true wisdom lies in the self-awareness that enables us to connect with those around us. Lao Tzu's ageless wisdom teaches us that we do not have the foundation necessary to interact with others, until we are able to look within ourselves. To form authentic relationships and empathize with others, we must first pay attention to our own thoughts and emotions, and strive to make positive changes within ourselves when necessary. In another timeless quote regarding interpersonal relationships, Confucius said, "To be wronged is nothing, unless you continue to remember it." Through the course of all human interactions, where grievances can linger and fester, Confucius's words offer a useful outlook on the nature of forgiveness. His teaching encourages us to reflect on how we choose to respond to perceived wrongs, and more importantly, to recognize that being wronged is transitory. This too will pass. Confucius's words tell us that strength does not lie in holding on to resentment, that to become stronger individuals we need to let go of the burden of past injustices. His teaching steers us away from the negative effects of resentment and moves us toward a more fulfilling daily life. Confucius's wisdom teaches us to just let go of injustices, put them out of our minds and move on. This brings us back to Lao Tzu's quote, which has echoed through the ages when he said, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." His insight has proven to be timeless, but in the context of today's world, where advanced technology and complex goals often appear daunting, Lao Tzu's words call our attention to the importance of taking action. His words emphasize the necessity of making that initial step, even when, at first, our initial step may seem very insignificant. In our pursuit of happiness, where the magnitude of everything that we would like to accomplish can seem paralyzing at times, Lao Tzu's guidance is practical advice. The emphasis on the first step is a reminder that even monumental tasks are made up of incremental actions. It keeps us from becoming overwhelmed by long-term objectives, and instead, to focus on manageable tasks at hand. Lao Tzu teaches us to initiate action before we give in to what may seem like overwhelming uncertainties. Just begin now. Take that first step, no matter how small. Confucius made a similar observation that fits nicely here. He said, "It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop." In the fast-paced rhythm of our current lives, where success is often measured by speed and efficiency, Confucius's quote provides a valuable perspective on the path to personal growth. His teaching encourages us to think about the significance of perseverance in order to achieve our goals. In our world today, where the pressure to keep up with the fast pace of society can be constant, Confucius's words offer relief from our daily grind. His emphasis on persistence, even at a gradual rate, serves as a reminder that our journey towards self-improvement is not a sprint, it is a marathon. He says we should let go of comparison with others, and focus on our incremental progress. In doing so, we free ourselves from the expectation of immediate results, and we learn the importance of consistency in our pursuit of daily happiness. To sum up the timeless wisdom of Confucius, let's look at a quote he made that reveals the core of his philosophy. He said, "Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated." Simplicity is essential to the ageless message of Lao Tzu as well. He taught that we should not busy ourselves with the accumulation of worldly possessions. Instead, we should focus on the cultivation of internal virtues such as kindness, understanding, and resilience. Lao Tzu's teachings urge us to start a journey of self-discovery through the appreciation of beauty, and the joy of new beginnings. In addition, Confucius's quotes invite us to emphasize the good in others, to release the hold that past grievances may have on us, and to understand that life's journey is a steady progression, not a race against time. The simplicity of Confucius's teachings is noteworthy, timeless, and just as he intended, easy for all to comprehend. As you process the wisdom shared by these ancient philosophers, take time to search for the hidden beauty in your life, and take a moment to reflect on their essential message. That to live a better life, you do not need to rely on external circumstances or strive to accumulate more possessions. You do not need more stuff. The key lies solely in the choices you make, and you can make better choices starting today. As a source of encouragement, refer to the teachings of Lao Tzu and Confucius often, to contemplate their valuable quotations and lessons. In their words, you'll find timeless instruction on how to live a more fulfilling life. And you will experience an unexpected, uncommon joy as you make progress toward day-to-day contentment.